Welcome to this week's deep dive. This week, we're really excited to have Meagan Upole from Catalyst and Threadmill Designs join us. Welcome, Meagan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. This week, we're really excited because when you first joined us, you were a little bit nervous. You were like, oh, I'm just going to hang out for 1 week. And now you're sucked in entirely and you can't leave. That's how it works with PromoChat.
I was a little nervous at first, but it's been good. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, we're friendly, right? Tell the rest of the internet that we're friendly.
Yeah, it's been good.
Well, perfect. Well, this week we talked about innovation, how it can happen on small and large scales and how you work it into your business, and innovation that's happening out in the wild west out there, or the wild internet. And so you had some great answers to all your questions. So we narrowed it down to one. And so we're going to go with, so our question was, we don't know what we don't know, and innovation comes bursting into our lives like a bolt of lightning. What innovation do you think our industry needs right now? You responded with, our industry needs innovation in how we approach customers. With so much of the world moving online, we need new and exciting ways to follow it there, but still retain the personal connections with customers. It's a tough balance. And then you had the hashtag, we hope we do it with snark and silliness.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there. It's like basically the internet exists and that's how we're changing. And my question is, how that balance between personal and ease of use is such a tough one, especially when it moves online. So how are you doing it? And if you're just like, we still haven't figured it out, who do you think is doing a good job with it?
Well, that's something that has kind of been my job to work on. When I came on at Catalyst, we didn't have Threadmill designs. That's something that's been new in the last few months. And my boss, one of the big things that Dennis has always talked about is that he loves that personal connection. Like, he's the guy who gets in the car and goes and sees his customers, or gets on the phone if, they're too far away. And he really values that. So they still do things, very personally and in person as much as possible. And we had a website when I got there, but it was more of an afterthought. And so we got this direct-to-garment machine, and he really wanted to do something new and something different. And then Threadmill Designs kind of happened because the graphic designer and I wanted to do something that we were interested in. And we really like conventions and kind of more nerdy stuff. So we're like, well, we'll just sell nerdy t-shirts online. But we didn't want to lose that personal connection. So that's been pretty much my job, is figuring out how to move us online and do e-commerce, but also still be like Catalyst and still keep that that idea that the customer does matter and they are very personal. So when we set it up, one of the things I did is, we're a little silly and a little sarcastic and a little snarky anyway. So we just kept that. We're like, if they're going to buy from us, they may as well know us. And we've tried to make a conscious effort to always respond to people, to respond by name, and then also to keep that personal touch by working with actual people. So we're working with artists and going to conventions and trying to meet artists and meet fans and meet people, and then tag them in social media and bring them into the conversations we're having online, so that it's not just us throwing stuff out there and hoping people see it, but it's them seeing conversations between actual people, or seeing things that actual people are doing, and keeping our faces and our actions and everything very much visible as we're doing all of this. And so hopefully,
you're trying to pull the curtain away and people can see, like, there's actual people there who care and who are engaging and are engaged. And
right. And even when we're sending newsletters or we're sending emails or we're following up with people, it just, not writing form letters and not sounding I don't want to say like not sounding professional, because we try to keep it professional, but not sounding robotic, I guess.
Yeah, you want to have a voice. Like, that's
right.
Like, everyone talks about having a brand voice and everything else, but I really think people can tell if you're not an authentic person anymore. Like, if you watch who becomes really famous or up there in social media, it's like, they're people who are truly authentic and where you can actually hear their voices, and it makes such a big difference, because if they feel like you're being sold to without sort of a voice, an identity, a person behind it, it becomes really hard. Like, there's a distance between your mission and what you're actually doing. Yeah. So what's some ways where you have like an authentic voice in what you do? Sarcasm.
Yeah, that helps. But I feel like one of the things, and I actually kind of learned this because I'm a little new to promotional products. I haven't even been doing this a year, so this is all new for me. But I went to the ASI show in Orlando in January, I guess. And one of the things that I kept hearing over and over were find things that you were passionate about and things that you enjoyed, and that would show through. So that's one of the other things we've really tried to do that I think makes it more authentic when we go to these conventions, or I always joke that we harass artists because I feel like we kind of do, but it's because we find ones that we really like and that I really want to put on a shirt so that I can wear it. And then I bother them about it. I'm like, hey, I really want to wear your art. Like, please send your art in. And so then when we do get those artists on board, I have to do all the marketing and I have to do all the social media, and I can get online and actually be excited about it and go, oh my goodness, this person that I've been talking to, finally agreed to let me put their stuff on a shirt. I get to go wear it now. And so I think, I'm not sure if I'm going to answer your question, but I think that's been helping a little bit.
But it's not just someone, like it's a cultivated style in what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, we're not going and just talking.
I like it, so someone else will like it.
Yeah. Because that was one thing, we had a little bit of help. I took my husband, and then the graphic designer brought his wife, and that was one thing we talked about before we went in. We're like, we're not stopping at every table. We're not talking to every artist. Even if they're amazing, if we're not excited about it, we're not going to be able to sell it, and we're not going to be excited about doing it. So we want to, we want to talk to people, and we want to work with people that are fun and they're authentic and they're exciting. And then when we're having these conversations on social media, we're bringing them into our brand, essentially, that they fit and they make sense and they work. So that hopefully that shows through as we're doing all of this. So people are like, oh, these people are genuinely having a good time, and we want to also have a good time with them.
Yeah. Well, it's so true, is like, I think the obstacle a lot of people feel right now with being online is like, oh, you'll lose the personal touch. But if you can kind of show that everything that you sell and you work on has that personal touch of your taste, of your personality, of your, like, you're cultivating, that you don't lose that personal touch because you're in every aspect of what's happening there. And that's why it's so strong, so important to have such a strong brand, because you can constantly keep tying it back. And even if someone isn't your voice or your taste, they still know your aesthetic, your hopes, your attitude, and to tie that all back in. So yeah, I really think it's interesting. And like, we do the same thing with SIG. Like, our water bottle brand here is like, we work with different artists and we try and bring them in, and it's like, and a lot of them, it's been like, we've been to a craft show and been like, we love their art. Same thing. I want it on a bottle. How do I get it on a bottle?
Yeah, it almost feels a little bit selfish, but then I feel like because it's a little selfish, it's a little bit better. Because like, I love it, so I can make sure everyone knows I love it.
Yeah. I always think I just want everyone else to find this artist and to really like this artist as much as I like them. So exactly. Yeah, it's interesting, and it can be difficult because, like, I always think just because I like it doesn't mean everyone else will. Like, yes, there's going, like, I'm in my own tribe, I'm in my own universe, but at the same time it's like, okay, I have to think of other tastes, but most of the time it's like, yeah, but I have good taste.
Well, and that's one of the nice things about, I was friends with the graphic designer before I started working there. He was actually how I found out about the job, because I used to work with his wife. And so we're really good friends, and we have some similar tastes, but then we also have some fandoms that are very, very different. So, we get art in, and he's like, I don't know what this is, Megan, do you know what it is? And I'm like, oh yes, I love it. Or, vice versa. And so it's not necessarily just things that I love, but he'll get really excited about something. And even though it's not maybe something that I'm super into, I see how excited he is, so I can be excited about that. I'm like, this must be awesome because Chad loves it. So like, nice, and the same thing, like, I've even brought one home, asked my husband, like, hey, do you know what this is from? They said it's this, but I've never seen it. And he's like, that's amazing. You have to put it on a shirt. So, it's not always just me, which is nice. We have a whole, we have a team in the office.
A whole palette to choose from.
We're working out of Catalyst. So all the Catalyst people, I can still run around and be like, hey, I need you to look at this real quick. Isn't this awesome? Yeah. And sometimes I just appreciate it.
Teamwork is so important.
It is. Like, sometimes I don't even have any idea, but I'm like, the entire office thinks this is amazing. And I don't necessarily get it, but it looks really cool. So I don't really care. It's awesome, and I'll put it on a shirt.
And that's the amazing part about the internet, is that those small niche, like quirky things can thrive there, because there becomes a space for them there.
Right, and that was part of the goal with Threadmail is, we use hashtag Wear Your Fandom a lot, and we go to DragonCon, like we've been going to DragonCon, and I go to JordanCon, and I'm on staff for that, and we really love going to these places and seeing how passionate people are about the things that they love. And sometimes, like, the convention I'm on staff for is all about, like, one book series is how it started, and then it's grown into this whole much bigger thing, but it was just several hundred people who wanted to get together and talk about this one series. And that's awesome to me. Like, no matter what series it is, even if it's one I don't know, like, that's something that I just think is incredibly cool. So it's exciting to get to kind of use that and help people show off their passions. And I'm hoping that that's what makes us seem, authentic online, and, have that personal connection, because we are being authentic. Like, we're doing something that we love and trying to help other people do what they love. So, and show it off while they're at it. So
it's just such an easy job. Everyone's able to do it. Don't worry about it. Nailed it. Well, perfect. Well, Meagan, thank you so much for joining us this week. And thanks to Maple Ridge Farms, who's our sponsor. And Meagan, where can we find you on the whole internet?
Oh, goodness. All over the place.
Threadmail Designs.
Threadmail Designs and Catalyst Promotions. So Catalyst, we do mostly on Facebook for now. I'm working on that next. Threadmail, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then we have threadmaildesigns.com. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and have a great day. And remember, everyone, join us every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific time and 3 p.m. Eastern time. Take care.